Let's just jump right into Photoshop and start editing. Now, the only thing we need to do here first is we need to drag our photo into Photoshop. So I'm going to take the line photo and just simply drag it inside Photoshop and it will automatically open. Now, there are some things that we could do to this image to make it different, to make it better. And I want to give it more like a fine art feeling. Now, the first thing what I would like to do is I would like to change the lighting. It looks like a daylight photo and I want to make it a bit more mysterious. Now, to change lighting, there are different ways to do that, but my favorite is to use curves. The curves you can find in adjustment layers down here. If you go to the right bottom and click on this one, you can see we have a lot of different adjustment layers and curves we can use for the lighting. So let's click on curves and we're going to apply a curves to this layer. Now, here is the settings for the curves. Here we have the highlights. If we take the highlights and bring them down, it's going to make the highlights darker. If you're going to take the darker tones and move them to the right, it's going to make it more black like that, like more contrast. Or we can take the mid-tones and move them up or down, and then you can see it change this image. Now, for this one, I want to bring the highlights down. So let's take the highlights and just bring them down, let's say halfway like that. This is the first step. Let's make it a bit lighter so you can still see the background there. The next step, what you need to do is we want to make the background also a bit darker. You can see there is some green in the background and I want to get rid of that. I want to make it more blackish. So to do that, I'm going to create a new layer. And inside this layer, I'm going to go to Edit and I will select Fill. Now what this does is it's going to fill this whole layer with something we select here. Here we have different settings that we can select and I'm going to use 50% gray. And what it does is it's going to fill the whole layer with the 50% gray layer. The reason why I'm doing this is because when I change the blend modes here from normal to overlay, you won't see the gray anymore, but you will see everything I'm brushing inside this layer. Now, the reason why I'm doing this is because when I brush something on my photo, I don't want to brush the original photo. If you're going to brush on the original photo, you're basically destroying the original photo. And want to keep the original photo just in case we want to go back a couple of steps. So we always have control over our photo by simply adding new layers on top of it. So this is our layer and we can double click on the name. And let's say we make this name Burn because we're going to use the Burn tool. Actually, let's go to the burn tool. In the settings here, you can select this one and then you have the burn tool. The dodge tool is to make your image lighter. You will make areas lighter. And with the burn tool, you can make areas darker. And with the sponge tool, you can desaturate areas. So let's first click on the burn tool and we're gonna burn. Let me first disable this curves layer. If you click on the eye, it will disable it. And then make sure you have selected the burn layer. Then we have the settings of the burn, and here we can just change the settings. I'm using a soft round brush, and I'm making sure my hardness is 0, so I have a soft brush. Then we have the range, and we're gonna start with highlights. When using the burn tool, you want to start with the highlights first and move your way down to midtones and then shadows.